Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's go over a premium medium question that I just solved on my own. So funny story, I was actually struggling with this a lot, and today I was finally able to get time limit exceeded at least, and then I tried 10 different times. Then on the last try I was like, please, this one I'm gonna get it, and I actually did get it, so that was a little surprising. So again, really happy that I did this one without any assistance. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I did it. So basically you have a 3D binary matrix and you just want to keep track of the x coordinate, the row number that has the largest number of ones, and then the largest x if they're tied. So my idea, instead of creating a whole 3D matrix, is just to use a couple dictionaries to simulate exactly what we need. So for example, this is going to simulate each cell and what the value is, right? And then we're going to have a X tracker that's going to keep track of, it's going to be a default dict of type list. That's going to keep track of, for this X coordinate, like how many ones do we have and how many zeros do we have? And then we just have to reflect the changes, right? So let's go through the rows, the columns, because it gives you a dimension of n by n by n, and then the third dimension, which we don't even care about. We don't have to understand what that is, but now we're just going to say self.d of I, j, k is equal to 0. And then we have to keep track of the actual column, right? And we have to append 0 to that. So now we just keep track of what everything is. At the beginning, it starts all as 0, as it says here. And then to set the cell, what we need to do is we're going to change this from 0 to 1. So let's say self.d. Let's keep track of what the value was before, x, y, z, before we change it, because what we'll have to do is reflect that change in the dictionary, right? So let's make this a sorted list, so that we can discard it instead of having to check an n. So if before is equal to 0, then that means now we have to actually change it. We have to, first of all, not only do we have to add a 1, but we have to remove 1 from the zeros. So self.x tracker x, which is the x coordinate they give us, dot discard a 0, and then self.x tracker x dot add 1, right? So this really has two parts to it. And then after that, I think that's good. So we can do the same thing here. Before is self.d of x, y, and z. Self.d, oh, sorry, we set this to 1, and then we set this to 0, reflecting the change in the whole dictionary, which has all the coordinates. And then so that's why we need this dictionary as well. So if before is equal to 1, then again the change is the opposite. Self.d, self.x tracker x dot discard 1, because we're changing it to 0, right? Removing it once from that sub list, sorted list. So the value of that key is an array. Self.x tracker y or x dot add 0, changing it to 0, right? Cool. And so now this is where it gets a bit tricky, because let's print self.x tracker. Now we just have to keep track of the count of the zeros and ones. So let's go back. Something looks a bit off here. So let's say 4k and self.x tracker. Let's make a sorted list, because we want to sort first of all by the 1 count and then find the biggest x that we can get, which is the k value, is the x, right? So that's what we did here. And then so now dot add self.x tracker k dot count of 1, because we want the biggest count, and then k, and then let's just return now -1, -1. because it's going to sort along 2 axes by doing that. So it's going to sort by this one, and then after this one is sorted, if there are any ties, then it's going to give you that one. So, and, ooh, okay, close. And there you go, passes all test cases. So again, I'm really happy that I actually managed to solve this on my own. So not the most efficient solution, but I did grind through this one on my without assistance. So again, really proud of that. Wasn't expecting, I think this is N by itself, but it managed to get over the time limit exceeded hump, so I'm fine with that. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.